best hummus recipe is composed of only three main ingredients: chickpeas, tahini, which is grounded sesame seeds, lemon juice, and of course some salt. So these are really basically the only ingredients needed to make a delicious hummus. Then for people who like a little kick to their hummus, you can add garlic, but garlic is not an absolute necessary. I know a lot of people think that automatically in a hummus you need garlic. Actually, my mom has stopped over the years to use garlic, and we actually enjoy the hummus even more. And it actually lasts longer in the refrigerator if you do, for example, a big batch of hummus to last you a week and a half. Sometimes the garlic tend to fasten the process of molding in your homemade hummus. So these are the main ingredients: only chickpeas, tahini, lemon. Now, in terms of quantities, I know it's very hard in the Mediterranean food. We don't really say, oh, this amount of chickpeas, this amount of tahini, this amount of lemon. It's really you go with your taste. But I will give you a few tricks as to how to reach like the best consistency, and some tricks as how to get your hummus. So the other tool you will need is actually comment c'est ça? Un robot culinaire? A food processor. Thank you. That was my friend. I was asking her for how to say a food processor in English. You can also use a magic bullet if you have a magic bullet at home. At home, if you use a magic bullet, you will need actually to do it in smaller batches for your hummus. So step one to making a delicious hummus is to start off by heating up your chickpeas. So I will open the can of chickpeas, drain the water, rinse really well, and then with fresh water, heat it up a little bit on the stove, and we will be back. Okay, so I have, like I said, I have emptied and drained the chickpea can and washed it before with clear water. I've heated up the chickpeas, but you don't want them like to be boiling hot. What you want is just like them to soften up. So after they've reached a boil, I just let them rest, and just to be a tender warmness. So this way you get a really smooth paste. So that's the trick to having a smooth chickpea hummus dip. Okay, perfect. So I will remove all the chickpeas. You don't want to pour all the water, but a little bit like when you're making pasta, you want to save that water with what you boiled them in, and you will use that water to smoothen your hummus as it's being blended. But first, so a little bit like when you're thinning a pasta sauce with your the water that you boiled your pasta in, it's basically the same thing. And this way you're not adding extra fat to your hummus. So some people replace it with olive oil, olive oil is great. It's a good fat, so that's not the issue. But if you don't want to add extra calories, I rather add like the olive oil more as a garnish towards the end, and I like to obtain the texture of my hummus with the water. So once this is done, so you have all your chickpeas. And like I said, so for the tahini, when you open a jar of tahini, sometimes it separates like this. You want to make sure to give it a good mix before you pour, so it separates a little bit like peanut butter. This is normal. So you just want to give it a good stir in the jar, so you don't just take the oil. You want a good consistency. So that's 1 tablespoon at least. You go really with the eye. 2 tablespoons. I would say a 1/3 one to start, and then you can do the taste. You can add more or less. So this is for the tahini. So today, because I have visit and I know she likes garlic, I will add garlic. But like I mentioned, garlic is not a necessity. And also, if you want to avoid, make sure just to remove the heart of the garlic, the stem that's in the middle usually. So you can find it right here, that part. I like to remove that little green part here. It's not the stem, but the heart or the germ of the garlic. And you cut in small pieces. That's a big knife for a small piece of garlic. Awesome. And then lots of lemon juice. So I like the hummus very zesty. So I just use my hands to hold the pits. I had like a little lemon juice left. I just made tabbouleh, but so it's at least 1 full lemon juice. And as you can see, your hands are amazing strainers. No need for extra gadgets. And you're working your biceps as you're squeezing the lemon. So that's half of a good lemon juice. And a little bit more. Oh, I missed a few. Right there. Watch with the blade. Awesome. And now some salt. So again, to taste, I always go ahead. And I can see already that it will need a little bit of water. So I just add some of that water from the cooked. And this is the fresh water I had added. It's just the color comes from the hummus. And now it's time to blend. Et voila. So depending on how chunky you like your hummus or smooth, you can have it first a taste. Okay. I like it a little bit smoother. Spoon. Okay, well, to me, tahini is good. What's missing for me is I like it more zesty in terms of lemon. So I won't be adding more water because the consistency as it is right now is perfect. I'm gonna just by adding the liquid of the lemon juice. That will make it, you know, like of a good smoothness. Also, hummus, once you, right now it's just a tiny bit warmish. So what it will tend to do if you put it back in the refrigerator overnight, let's say you prepare it 1 day in advance or a big batch, it will tend to become thick, so, and less fluid. So it's okay if at the beginning you find it's a little bit like thin, and then it will become more thick over the days. So 1 more stir. Okay, Chantal, would you mind come to taste the hummus we just made and tell me? It's good?
It's really good.
Yum. Okay, so I will just take a few moments to tell you the options you have for the garnishing. So in terms of garnishing, you can use a small plate right here. So I like to garnish with a little bit of parsley as well as some olive oil and paprika. This is how we garnish it back at home with my mom. So you just finely chop some parsley and you add it to decorate. Some people like to roast some pine nuts. You can also chop some. You can also chop some olives or use a chopped olive spread, which is a tapenade. That's also really good. But roasted pine nuts, parsley, you can also add some, sprinkle some cumin to your hummus. That's a really nice oriental twist that that keeps it in its oriental roots. I know some people like to add some curry powder. You can also add some heat to it with some peppers, hot peppers, and so on. So, to do the dip, so like I said, because it's warm, as you can see, the tahini has more right now the consistency of a spread, or let's say in trempette, a dip. So but by tomorrow it will thicken up just if I leave it overnight. So the tradition is really to make a little swirl like this in the middle to have some for the plating. So then some olive oil, like a little fillet of olive oil. Can I have some paprika, please? So if over summertime you have some fresh mint as well, that makes it so delicious. So the best to go with your plate of hummus would be some pita bread. I like to toast actually my pita bread in a little oven, and it becomes very crisp. Just watch when you're toasting your pita bread, because it can tend to burn really fast. So everyone, well, thank you so much. I hope you get to try this hummus recipe I just shared with you. This is the original recipe, I know, but you can add your flavors to it and be creative. This is just the basic. So enjoy, and thank you very much. Take care.